Good morning, everyone. I'd like to take this time to thank you very much for joining our webinar today. My name is Ken Lewis, and I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing at Channel Management International, CMI. For those of you who are not familiar with CMI, we are a Canadian IT security distributor and market development firm. On your screen is our new website, and I ask you to bookmark this page because we'll be adding more security vendors throughout the year. So please check back often. Over the past 5 months, CMI has been busy seeking out new security solutions to bring into the Canadian channel. We not only look for the best of breed and new security technologies, but vendors with a solid channel program that offers Canadian resellers the opportunity to develop new business and make good margins. Accellion is one of these vendors. They are not only leaders in this space, they offer reseller partners a channel program which will reward you for your efforts. One of the reasons we selected Accellion and this type of technology is because protecting the transfer of confidential information is a top priority for all organizations. Yet many corporations and government agencies put themselves at risk of costly data breaches and non-compliance with government mandates with inadequate secure file transfer systems and procedures. A data breach that reveals sensitive information is costly and can devastate the reputation of your customers' organizations. You only need to see the latest news, such as Sony and Honda, to see why there is a market for Accellion's technologies. I would now like to introduce you to Mr. Dave Kane, who is the Vice President of Worldwide Channel Sales at Accellion. I just ask you to save your questions to the end of the presentation, and we'll be glad to answer them at that time. So Dave, I'd like to pass it over to yourself now, okay?
So, as Ken mentioned, my name is Dave Kane. I'm the Vice President of Worldwide Channel Sales for Accellion. I've been with the company since March of 2005. At that time, my first job was to head up the North American sales role, and I was in that role from 2005 into the fall of 2008. At that point, we had things going pretty well. Many customers in the U.S. and Canada, and I moved over into a worldwide channel sales role, spent some time in Asia, and the past year have been kind of refocused on the North American market, which led to this new relationship with CMI. Today's presentation, you'll get some additional background on Accellion as a company. But I think more importantly, you'll learn a little bit more about the secure file transfer market opportunity and how we've been able as a company to grow from 8 initial customers in 2005 to well over 1,100 customers today, including quite a few customers in Canada that I will mention during the presentation. And we'll also touch on how this might be a good complement for your practice and how it might be a very good fit for your security work that you do with other vendors as well. In a nutshell, Accellion helps organizations transfer and share data easily and securely. By organizations, that's not just corporations, but we do quite a bit of business with nonprofits, as well as government entities, cities, states, and the federal governments, particularly the U.S. federal government. We help people transfer files point to point, from person A to person B. Well, recently we've developed the capability for people to share data within groups, what we call workspaces, which is what I will touch on later today. We think ease of use is very important in addition to security. If a security solution is difficult to use, it probably won't get used, and often it doesn't get used properly. So from day one, we really tried to design something that's easy for people to make sure it gets used, sometimes in an automatic way where the user doesn't even have to think and the file will be transferred securely. The company's been around since 1999. We did not create the secure file transfer appliance until 2003. The growth really began in 2005. We have received quite a bit of press most recent, we won the Microsoft Tech Ed Award in the security category. This was at the National Tech Ed Conference several weeks ago in Atlanta. These are screenshots here of some of our customers allied with their respective vertical industries. You can see some of the names in the government category: Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States. The next one down is a government agency in the United Kingdom. As you'll see in a moment, some of our Canadian customers. We do a lot of work, of course, with healthcare institutions. Hospitals not only deal with large files, which Accellion helps with, but they have regulations which require them to send things securely, in particular encrypted. Pharmaceutical firms deal with confidential data, clinical trial data, architecture, construction, engineering firms, consumer product companies. I think today you'll find that most businesses, their files are larger and larger, and they contain more confidential information, and basically they're tired of trying to send this stuff over FTP or email. These are some of our customers in Canada. You can see towards the top some of our government customers. We also have, as you can guess here, customers along different vertical lines: some mining companies, engineering companies, law firm, media, utilities, hospitals, etc. Some of our customers are obviously quite large, but the Accellion solution can be sold to very small customers as well. We actually will sell a 5-user license package for about $1,000 per year. So whether your customer has 50 employees or 50,000, we have a solution and a price that we believe will allow them to get started with secure file transfer and secure collaboration. The file transfer market may not be one that you are aware of. However, it's fairly large and getting bigger. Gartner created a magic quadrant for the file transfer market in 2008 and updated it again in 2009 and has written a couple of additional research notes. IDC also now covers the space. We are a leader and growing faster than the market averages. And recently, a couple of new companies that really have been thought of as, consumer storage plays have developed transfer capability. So there are people now in corporations and large organizations whose users are beginning to use Dropbox to send files back and forth. Problem being that it's not the most secure way to move files around in an organization. But the good news is their publicity has created even more interest in this market, and in particular the need among an organization to find secure ways to share files for their user base, particularly if they're going to use mobile phones, iPads, and the like. You might ask yourself at these organizations what types of projects do they have budgeted where the Accellion secure file transfer solution would fit. Top, of course, would be simply making sure the data that's going back and forth is being transferred in a secure way over SSL and or encrypted. Accellion will also store this data at rest encrypted as well. We've touched on the compliance and regulatory requirements, both in the United States as well as in Canada, which drive a lot of the interest in our solution. I think you'll find if you pick up the phone and ask your customers, how many of you people are still using FTP servers, you find most of them would respond yes. And it's simply a legacy system that needs to be replaced. If you've got an FTP server hanging out there, it's probably not got content that's encrypted on it. You don't have a record of who's placed things on there and who's downloaded things. The transfers are not secure. And so just from a simple beginning of are you using FTP, here's a way to replace it easily and securely, is driving quite a bit of our business. Email as well is a practice area that we touch on. You'll see in a moment that the way Accellion works is by uploading a copy of a file to an Accellion appliance and then inserting a link in an email, sending the link out, and the recipient clicks the link to download a copy from the appliance. So when companies are moving from Exchange 03 to 07, where they're moving from Lotus to Exchange, these are points at which the IT departments are typically asking, how can we ease the strain on our email server? Wouldn't it be better if we had people send files and attachments as links instead of heavy attachments? How can we use email and send files in a secure way? So if customers have email projects going on, Accellion is also a possible fit for those projects. These are the kinds of people that we talk to on a daily basis, IT directors and managers, but we also touch folks in the security departments. Sometimes file transfer is a creature of infrastructure, also email, and then various people might have responsibility for this. It's not necessarily a sale or an opportunity that would begin up at the CIO level, but it can reach that high. You'll see on our website a number of case studies where CIOs have taken a particular interest in our solution. I've listed here kind of a long list of the different types of sales and services opportunities you would have with Accellion. Many of our security resellers down here in the lower 48 do assessments around data and file transfers. If you don't do that, you could certainly start a practice and feature Accellion as a way to resolve some of those issues that you find during those assessments. I know some of our other reseller partners are now doing assessments around mobile devices to see that content going onto and off of those mobile devices are done in a way that complies with security policies. In addition, you will have the opportunity to place hardware or virtual appliances at your customer sites. We also offer Accellion in the cloud. You can do installations. There are a lot of integrations that happen. They're not difficult, but they certainly require someone's expertise, either ours or our partners or together. Some administrative training, and then we also offer our APIs. So if a customer has some special requests, you can use our APIs to do some custom knitting if that's part of your practice. If you ask me, Dave, who are some of your other partners? What are the kinds of things they sell? I think this gives you kind of an idea of the other things that our current partners sell and why Accellion is a fit. Anyone who is selling firewalls, anti-spam, antivirus, DLP, these types of things, Accellion seems to be a good fit within their product or solution portfolio. So if these are any of the areas that you're practicing in, I think you'll find that Accellion is a natural complement. You're already having conversations with your customers in these areas. To open up a dialogue about Accellion and transfer of files is a pretty natural thing to do. This wouldn't be reinvention of the wheel in terms of your business strategy.